coming up on the March 25th edition of Carolina Week. The Heels have advanced to Week 2 of the NCAA tournament. How sweet will it be?
The long-term effects of drinking too much alcohol could make happy hour not so happy.
Double up and get down. A team of dancers moves to the music. Could you be who they're looking for? All that and more.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the UNC School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering Carolina in HD, this is Carolina Week.
The campus is abuzz with anticipation. The Sweet 16 game against the West top seed Wisconsin is tomorrow night. Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Lane.
And I'm Kristen Lee. Thanks for joining us. Some say the Heels have overachieved to get to this point. Others say the Carolina team is just hitting its stride. Sportscaster Tate Frazier joins us now.
Tate, can this team make it to the Elite Eight, especially with Kennedy Meeks out with a knee sprain?
It's going to be tough, but you're right, Jacqueline. The big news centers on the big man himself, Kennedy Meeks. The latest intel we have is that Meeks participated in a limited role yesterday in practice, but Williams is not too optimistic about his chances to play. Aside from his availability, it's all about defensive rebounding. As you can see here, 3 Razorback rebounds. And that's not too good for us. But against Harvard, hey, we do a little bit better here. A deep 3, JP toe-to-toe with the hustle, dishes the dime ahead, and Justin Jackson with the slam. Oh, that's nice for us. And hey, if we can get those going, get defensive rebound, get the effort, hey, the Heels could get a win, and it'd be good for us.
And Molly Oak and Luis Fernandez are in LA, and they'll have highlights, analysis, and a lot more on our sister show, Sports Extra, on Monday. Thanks, Tate. The men's basketball tournament will generate $750 million for NCAA member schools. UNC's Roy Williams makes nearly $2 million per year. Duke's Coach K pulls in more than $9 million. Some people say it's time for athletes to get part of that cash. Sonny Vaccaro spent his professional life working with athletes.
Now we're in 2015. The money is off the wall.
Dressing athletes head to toe in Nike, Adidas, and Reebok gear, and kickstarting the Air Jordan brand. To some, the former marketing executive is part of what created the money machine that is college sports.
Every school in America signed off on the deal. If it was illicit and if I was immoral, you shouldn't have taken our money.
Now Vaccaro is participating in the mission to get athletes a share of the wealth.
The villain here is the NCAA, not the players. The players are the unpaid labor force.
You work for a paycheck. It's an expectation of most employees. But are college athletes professionals? Should they be considered employees for coming to work?
It seems to me that the university in many ways is privileged to have these performers that are competing on behalf of the universities.
Dr. Richard Southall is a member of a nationwide coalition of university faculty members who say they're fighting for athletes' rights.
In football and men's and women's basketball on the D1 level, the pressures are just different.
Southall says the coalition wants the NCAA to be more elastic, to consider student athletes as individuals with different needs and employees who deserve a share of the profit. And some players agree. Listen to what a UNC football player told us last fall.
I think the people that, like I said, don't want us to get paid, they don't understand how much goes into being a student athlete. We're here almost 365 days. We're in the football building almost 40 hours a week. So, it's really football all the time.
40 hours per week. The crux of the problem is splitting time between the classroom and in the weight room. Is it even feasible for revenue sport athletes to be full-time students as well? We'll explore that question next week.
A series of scooters threats has police urging students to use caution when parking on campus. There have been 3 scooter thefts and 2 attempted thefts on campus since the beginning of spring break. UNC Public Safety is working to determine if the thefts are related. Campus police say they have a person of interest and ask that anyone with information contact public safety.
And now a team report about things that can adversely affect our health and well-being. In the studio, Gia Jung with a look at the effects of secondhand smoke. In our satellite studio, Michael McGinnis explores the rise in popularity of synthetic marijuana. And we start with Ben Smart, live at the bar He's Not Here, with a report about the university's efforts to curb binge drinking. Ben.
Kristen, the health effects of a heavy drinking session could linger long after the hangover wears off, damaging one body part we couldn't think of living without. University administrators are paying attention.
It's now been more than 2 years since the death of UNC freshman David Shannon.
David was a student, a brother, and a friend.
Police say Shannon's death remains a mystery. We do know his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit, and he fell to his death from this Scarborough Tower.
We were losing students. Either they were dropping out, they were failing out, they were getting hurt. In some cases, they were dying because of binge drinking.
The National Institutes of Health say binge drinking is a one-time event where blood alcohol levels reach 0.08%. In practical terms, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 shots of vodka for women and 5 shots of vodka for men, all in less than 2 hours.
The medical risks of alcohol use and the health risks are very real.
Dr. Michael Steiner says heavy drinking has serious consequences for young adults.
But actually the brain's pathways and connections don't fully develop until about age 25. Chronic use of alcohol likely can affect how those brain building blocks get laid down.
This is the brain of a binge drinker. Red areas show damaged tissues. Researchers say heavy drinking adolescents perform worse on thinking and memory tests and have trouble with spatial processing. Back on campus, the latest data from a 2012 survey show the extent of alcohol use. 43% reported binge drinking in the past 2 weeks. 76% of students said they saw drinking as a central part of social life. For men in fraternities, that number rises to 95%.
It's a cultural problem, and that part of dealing with it is also dealing with the culture.
Administrators have formed a special team to tackle the issue of binge drinking on campus. I spoke with them and they told me it's not light drinking they're worried about, it's those heavy binge drinking behaviors they want to change. Back to you.
A lot to consider. Thanks, Ben. A recent study reveals that nearly 1 in 10 high school seniors used synthetic marijuana last year. Michael McGinnis is live in our satellite studio with more.
Kristen, that makes synthetic marijuana the second drug of choice among that demographic. These drugs come with unpredictable and oftentimes dangerous results.
The internet is filled with them. Videos like these showing teens experiencing the negative effects of synthetic marijuana. The drug is sold online and in stores under names like Spice and K2. Manufacturers use colorful packaging and even cartoon characters to entice customers. Despite the innocent appearance, the effects can be deadly. Dr. Rebecca Williams works at the UNC Center for Health Promotion and Disease Prevention. She says synthetic marijuana comes with a long list of potential health problems.
There's hallucinations, psychosis, seizures, convulsions, nausea, paranoia, panic attacks, vomiting, agitation, blurred vision, tremors, kidney damage, brain damage, heart attacks, and high blood pressure.
According to a recent study by the NYU Center for Drug Use and HIV Research, synthetic marijuana caused 28,000 hospital visits in 2011, 11,561 overdoses between 2009 and 2012, and has been known to cause death in some situations. Mike Meaner is a drug recognition expert with the Chapel Hill Police Department. He says he's seen the effects of these drugs firsthand.
Dealt with a vehicle accident on that before, and the person didn't even realize they were in a car crash.
The problem hasn't gone unnoticed by lawmakers. Synthetic marijuana was outlawed in North Carolina in 2013 and nationally in 2012, but manufacturers are able to continue production simply by tweaking the chemicals they use.
Lawmakers in North Carolina are currently working on a bill that would outlaw these substances regardless of tweaks to chemical composition.
Thanks, Michael. We all know cigarette smoke damages smokers' lungs. But what about those nearby? Medical reporter Gia Jung joins us in the studio. Gia.
Kristen, at least one UNC student says he has every right to breathe clean air. UNC senior Jason Lee says smokers threaten his health.
I don't have to see them, I can smell it, and I can tell that they're smoking.
Lee says he's worried about polluted air from cigarette smokers, what's known as secondhand smoke.
I just hold my breath, like I'd rather not breathe than like smell the smoke. because it's very harmful to your body.
The American Cancer Society reports secondhand smoke causes nearly 50,000 deaths from heart disease and lung cancer every year. UNC physician Adam Goldstein.
The process of combustion releases many other toxicities, and so you're being exposed to virtually the same sorts of combinations as the person who is smoking.
Smoking hurts people's health. No surprise to UNC senior Patty Kavanaugh.
I've noticed that the more I smoke, the easier it is for me to get out of breath.
Smoking also affects people nearby. That's not fair, says non-smoker Jason Lee.
Non-smokers shouldn't be affected by the decisions of others. It's a violation of the non-smokers' rights and health.
Goldstein told us the 100-foot rule is unenforceable and gives smokers the message that it's okay to smoke on campus.
And that's Jia Jung live in the studio. Thanks. 3 issues that concern many on campus.
One group of UNC students is fighting for a 2-state solution in the Middle East.
Will recent political developments kill their dream?
The recent re-election of Benjamin Netanyahu as Israel's prime minister raises concerns about the 2-state solution, the recognition of Israel and Palestine as individual states. Just before the vote, Netanyahu said he would not accept a 2-state solution. He has walked that back a bit, but it has strained the already rocky relationship between Netanyahu and the Obama administration. As National Education Co-Chair of J Street U, UNC sophomore Brooke Davies is part of a political advocacy group that works toward a 2-state solution. Netanyahu's re-election wasn't the result she wanted.
I was extremely disappointed. It's very hard to be told that everything that you've been working for will probably not come to fruition.
Davies says Netanyahu continues to build Israeli settlements, which undermine the existence of the Palestinian state.
If Bibi Netanyahu is continuing to increasingly build settlements and contribute to the perpetuation of that occupation, then I think that he is actively putting my family in danger.
Israel is surrounded on all sides. The fear of attack is why UNC Hillel Israeli fellow Itai Asaf says Israel voted in favor of Netanyahu.
Your borders are always in threats and dangers that your civilians will get hurt. I think that what makes people concerned and worried about the future.
Frank Prey is vice president of Christians United for Israel. He agrees.
If Israel loses, they cease to exist. They're done. Their people will literally be slaughtered. And quite frankly, Prime Minister Netanyahu knows that he cannot accept that.
Davies says she will continue to work toward resolution.
So I've never had a choice but to care, because really, truly, this is everything to me. There's nothing but to do this.
We want to stress that Davies is an individual student and isn't officially representing J Street's views.
Chancellor Carol Folt has made it her mission to improve the way the university addresses certain topics, such as sexual violence, race, and other hot-button issues. She has introduced Carolina Conversations to encourage dialogue about these topics. One of them, buildings named for people with ties to historical racism in the South.
One of those buildings is Saunders Hall. Today, the Board of Trustees is meeting to discuss a potential name change to Hurston Hall, honoring poet Zora Neale Hurston. We don't expect a decision for a while.
It's the end of an era. The satirical blog The Miner is retiring. After 2 years of writing anonymously, the group revealed its identity and said it will no longer be producing content. In typical Miner mockery, the bloggers held a funeral honoring the life and death of the publication. Attendees gathered to remember their favorite Miner articles and pay homage to writers. 2 of the original 4 members will graduate in May. 2,000 UNC students now know what it's like to dance the night away and day away.
Carolina for the Kids held its annual 24-hour dance marathon, raising more than $570,000 to benefit the NC Children's Hospital. Participants had to stand for the entire 24 hours, showing their support of families who get little rest while their children are in the hospital battling life-threatening diseases.
Who says technology is just for the boys? UNC recently hosted the second Pearl Hacks 500. 500 women from high school and college get to flex their coding muscles. Participants attended technical workshops and then used their newfound skills to build something with friends. The winning program came from a team of Duke students that created an Android app to help prevent sexual assault. The prize, an all-expenses-paid trip to the global hackathon in Seoul, South Korea. In the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks in Paris, a famous cartoonist spoke Monday about why political cartoons remain so important. Kevin Culla first spoke at the journalism school. He discussed his long career working for publications like The Economist and the Baltimore Sun. He even drew some original cartoons. Culla first stressed the importance of cartoonists protecting their right of free speech, even in the face of terrorism.
Spring flowers are blooming, but you might not want to stay outside for long.
It looks like showers are coming our way. Drew Day has your forecast next.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Drew Day. Thanks for staying with us. It was quite cloudy across the state today, so we didn't have a lot of sunshine across the triangle, but despite the clouds, we were still able to make it into the mid-60s across the area today, and that was also despite having a little bit of a northeasterly flow coming in off of the Atlantic. We also have a little area of low pressure down here that's spinning up, and that's helping to produce the cloud cover as well this evening. But the main system that we're going to be watching here in the next couple of days is still off to our west. It's an area of low pressure up to the north with a cold front extending down south of it, and that will bring us the chance of showers mainly for Thursday evening and to the early morning hours of Friday. So this will be pushing eastward in the coming days. So let's take a look now at those chances of rain. For this evening, we have just a small chance. That's just, again, because we have so much cloud cover. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now, so we can't rule out a shower. In fact, I got caught without an umbrella earlier today as well. So take that with you if you head out tonight. And so that chance of showers continues, but then by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll see just a little bit of a break in the rain. See, it's still a little spotty, not really thick, not a lot of colors showing up here. And so we'll have a break in the clouds before Thursday evening. That's when the frontal system is just off to our west, and it will be sweeping through the afternoon and into the evening on Thursday and continuing to bring us rain into the early morning hours on Friday. And so you'll definitely need the rain jacket for Thursday evening and for the day on Friday. We could also see a little bit of a thunderstorm from this when it comes through Thursday afternoon, but we don't expect any of the thunderstorms that develop to become severe. We may see a lightning strike or a rumble of thunder and maybe a heavy downpour for a brief moment, but for the majority of the area, you're not going to experience any trouble tomorrow evening. Now for tonight, temperatures will not be dropping off that much. Only 59 for a low this evening with cloudy skies and again that chance of a shower. Tomorrow morning still cloudy at 60 degrees. The chance of showers increases by lunchtime, 70 degrees, and then a better chance of showers in the evening at 69 by 8 p.m. And tomorrow afternoon we'll see a high of 75 degrees, and that's again despite all the cloud cover that we'll have. But then behind that front, temperatures cool off significantly back down into the 50s with that chance of rain Friday morning. We'll clear out for the weekend, but still chilly in the 50s. And then by the time we head into next week, perhaps seeing temperatures make it back into the 60s once again.
Well, at least we're finally starting to enjoy a little bit of spring weather.
Yeah.
Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome. Thank you. The Tar Heels are in LA for the big Sweet 16 matchup with Wisconsin.
Tate Frazier is next with sports.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Tate Frazier with sports. As we mentioned earlier, Roy's outlook about Meeks' chance to play isn't exactly positive, but Marcus Page is preaching the importance of keeping an upbeat attitude.
At this point in the year, if he's not able to go, or if he's only able to give us limited minutes, then, we just got to roll with what we have. And, we're too deep into the season to worry too much about it. We just got to go out there and do what we can do.
The Wisconsin Badgers won't bat an eye when matching up with the Tar Heels. They've consistently played high-caliber basketball all season long and earned the #1 seed out west. Wisconsin's game starts on the defensive end. The Badgers allow fewer than 57 points per game compared to the Tar Heels, who average about 77 points per game. And if you're looking for fundamental, no-nonsense basketball, then look no further than Bo Ryan's squad. They're careful on both sides of the floor, committing fewer turnovers and fouls than any other team in the country. Frank the Tank might love his boy blue, but that's not Carolina blue, unfortunately. And I can almost guarantee it won't factor into the 7-footers play Thursday night. Oh my, look at this block by Kaminsky here. He's like a big man running the floor to Sam Decker for the slam. Oh man, and he can throw it down himself too with the swivel in the paint and the too easy for him. Kaminsky does that all the time. He's a limble 7-footer, and he's shooting 38% from behind the arc. In simple terms, dude can straight up ball, and the national media loves him too, with Frank standing in front of his old tank. And the men aren't the only sweet ballers on campus. The women's team is still dancing as well. In the round of 32, freshman Jamie Cherry comes down and swishes this dagger for the win over Ohio State and got the Carolina fans celebrating. They'll take on South Carolina in the Elite Eight. And South Carolina actually got knocked off by the Tar Heels last year, and that will be in Greensboro Coliseum. That should be a good one. Tune in. And tonight, Showtime will air a 1-hour documentary capturing the impact of the legendary life of former UNC head coach Dean Smith. His airness credits Smith for making his career such a success.
I got a ball in my hand, I'm a little nervous. He was telling us about the university, and it was strictly academics first, and my parents were ecstatic. I had some rawness to me. He shaped all that. Coach used to always say, I prepared you for this. Now just go out and have fun and let it happen. And I learned a lot under his tutelage. It made me so much better as a professional basketball player.
So great to see all the tributes to Coach Smith. Looking forward to that. Thank you, Tate.
Yep,
Thank you. Want to learn some hot new dance moves?
Or just getting ready for your next formal event? One club will show you the moves. As you know, both the men's and the women's basketball teams are alive in the big dance. Reporter AJ Nwoko is trying to get himself into a big dance. We're not holding our breath.
The basement of Woolen Gym is usually silent and dim, but on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, the competitive ballroom dancing club is moving and grooving to the music. And for dance instructors Dominique Barnes and Jordan White, it's more than just dancing.
Fun, exercise, friends, boyfriends.
Passion.
Joy. That's it. That's ballroom dance. So we have on-campus lessons here for free that anyone can join. Even members of the outside community, they don't have to be students or anything.
White says for competitive ballroom to work, it takes two to tango.
There's a lot more of interaction between just you and another person. And even though we have a team here, it's still couples competing against each other.
And that means partners are necessary, but it's something members like Danielle Morea say the club needs more of.
I don't have a partners. When I have to practice, I practice a little bit with one guy, a little bit with another guy, and that's it. And most of the time I'm practicing by myself.
Morea says men shouldn't be afraid to put on their dancing shoes.
Guys think they can't dance or ballroom is not for them, but that's not the truth.
So what you're saying is even someone with a little dancing experience as me can learn how to dance.
Even though I wasn't the best, with a little footwork, I proved that even I could get down and dance. But if my skills haven't convinced any guys to join, there's one other incentive.
You know, if it's always been your dream to have some girls pursuing you, give it a chance, yeah.
So if you need a club to get footloose, Competitive Ballroom is saving the next dance for you. In Chapel Hill, I'm AJ Nwoko reporting.
Now we know why AJ wanted to do that story so badly.
Yeah, I have to give him props. He actually, looked like he had his groove on.
Yeah, just get a little closer to the ladies. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.